Well, I think everybody can hear me, but for some reason I'm not seeing.
Me to
Oh,
check.
here we go. Now everybody's coming in. Perfect. All right. Holy smoke! How you doing, Phil? My goodness.
Hi, Phil.
Oh, it's Phil watching?
Fantastic. Wow. There's a voice or a name we haven't heard for a while. Fantastic to see. Oh my goodness. Fantastic.
Oh shit! It's the Phil. It's the Dario. Hey!
Well, thank
Oh
you
no,
for.
this is awesome. I'm so glad he could join us.
Yes, you're going to get to see us try and fumble our way through another episode of Dungeons and Dragons 5e, where I will be the dungeon master as I make multiple mistakes in rule setting while I try to maintain a narrative, and everyone in the game will point out that I make things wrong. But we try to have a good time nonetheless. So we'll be going into this in just a moment. Very quickly, we're going to recap where we were last week. We were in Wave Echo Cave. That you guys had finally found Wave Echo Cave after a considerable amount of time in Phandalin and chasing around, dealing with all of the problems presented by the Red Brands, the dragon cultists, and trying to figure out how this all pieces together. And you have started to connect that there's something going on relative to Wave Echo Cave and Ice Spire Peak with the dragon horde basically using the Red Brands as their henchmen to further their plans to essentially take over the universe. It's questionable as to whether or not the dragon cultists in this world are aware of the greater efforts going on by dragonkind in general to try and usurp the all of the different realities and try to bend them and recreate them to their will. But they follow very, very loyally nonetheless, and as a result, you guys have been finding yourselves chasing down, trying to figure out how to piece together the artifacts that Anon needs at the Nexus of Time, so that he can do battle with the dragons and prevent all of reality from being ripped asunder and remade. But you have now found your way into Wave Echo Cave, and aside from a minor scuffle with some rather unpleasant sturges, you've been able to find your way all the way to this energy barrier at the actual cave where the waves are coming in and falling through this underground ocean that you seem to have found. But unfortunately, the barrier is not letting you through, and while you were trying to figure out a way to get through that barrier, a party of the dragon hybrids that you've run into a number of different times, both the Draox and the ogre-based variant, managed to find you guys as you were trying to get across the water to figure out some way to penetrate the energy shield. You guys did battle with them and did very, very well. And despite the fact that they were trying their best to bring you to the other world, and not in a living way, you guys were able to defeat them out of hand, and you now find yourselves in that cave. So before we get back into the action, are there any last questions? Anybody need any backup or anything along those lines? So, by the way, Eva, Phil is an old friend of ours from way back. Oh, and Kenji was going to high school. He's a brilliant actor, comedian, writer, and all-around great person. So it's great to see him here. My goodness.
Nice.
So any questions? Anyone unclear on where we are? Anyone have any questions about nuance or something like that before we get into character and begin battle?
Well, just to begin the fourth wall breaking of my character. Phil is basically like Obi-Wan. Like, he was the one who taught me a lot. He was like my first coach when I went into like high school, and like kind of like took me under his wing in a way to like be a funny person. It didn't stick, if you ask my parents, but you know.
No, not
Okay.
not not at all. Not even close. Sorry, Phil. It's he graduated years ago, and we are still waiting for those lessons to stick. But thank you for your efforts.
Hey, let me just say, Second City, I got that $3,000 T-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, All right, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this. I think it stuck a little. It did indeed, and it is such a joy to have you on here, sir. Thank you very much for joining, for stepping in. So before we any other, again, no other questions. Going once, going twice. Sold to the man with the red hat, and we are going to go ahead and start the game today. Folks, also we will have Elrin will be joining us in just a moment. She is in the ether walking the canine creature here at the house, so she'll be in as soon as
walking the poochie.
Yes, as soon as facilities and so forth allow. All right, so here we go as I bring you folks into where you resided before in Wave Echo Cave. And as we bring the party into Wave Echo Cave, you guys are standing at the edge of the drop-off going down into the water cave. Sildar, who you guys found earlier on in the facility, who has been kind of hanging around with you guys since then, is in fact maintaining. He's acting as your light man. He is working with the hooded lantern to keep things illuminated, but there's a certain degree of illumination coming from the energy field at the mouth of the cave to the northeast. There's now a series of bodies lying around in front of you, as you guys had managed to dispatch the various dragon hybrids that you see around you here. So that's where we had left off. Fortunately, you guys have managed to stay alive, but a number of these folks were in the last moments of combat. We had not completely finished, as one or two of these characters, as you had thought that you had dropped them, you thought you had actually killed them and have them met their maker, have actually managed to come back with the last few moments of how do you want to put this? What happened there?
That's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of dice. Apparently, initiative was re-rolled, but we find ourselves now as the combat restarts, as these guys find their second wind and start getting back onto their feet again. You notice that we've now gone back into another round of initiative. Damien, you find yourself squaring off with the last two remaining but very bloodied creatures standing in front of you. One of them has whitish scales and in a moment earlier had tried to freeze you with an ice breath. The other one that is standing in front of your trusty dwarven friend Druger is with slightly blackish scales. He had spit a cloud of acid in your direction and failed miserably in his attempt to try and melt your armor and your face in the same breath. These are the only two that are still standing at the moment. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, I'm going to attack the one that is directly diagonal to me.
Fantastic. Go ahead and target him then. How are you like to attack?
I'm probably going to trying to think. I'm probably going to go with the actually, you know what? If anything, I'm going to go with the green flame first, because if I attack the other one, it'll connect. So I'll go with this one first.
Excellent.
So.
All right. Green blade is active.
Cool. And now I will attack. Hold on, with Talon. There we go. Wait, hold on. Actually, I forgot to roll for green blade first. Hold on. I'll roll. Go.
All right.
No.
You need to attack to see, so you're going to do an additional 7 points of damage if you strike and you manage to hit. So you hit and you do 5 additional points of flame damage. Your blade, Talon, with eldritch energy across it, slams into the breastplate of this white Drayok, splitting forth its scales. As the blade sinks in, steams. You hear a shrill shriek come from the beast as it takes the 14 points of damage. As the 14 points of damage burns into its skin, it drops down to one knee, but not quite entirely dead. You can now go and redirect 5 points of flame damage to the next target, the only target being the one with the blackish scales directly next to you. And so go ahead, that would be... Go ahead and roll that attack if you wouldn't mind.
You mean target the other feller?
Nope, just roll the damage. 1d8.
1d8. Hold on, let me get my... That's a d8. Here we go.
Yep, just roll the damage. Just hit the damage button again.
I tried it... wait, hold on. I'll roll. Here we go.
Oh, wow, you do a full 8 points of damage. The green flame leaps from the white-scaled beast and quickly envelops and swirls around the one in black. He also begins to shriek and scream, and you see him looking up to the heavens, and as he does, he starts to wither and burn to a crisp and drops to the ground, dead. You've managed to dispose of the black-scaled Drayok, leaving just the white-scaled Drayok alive, who is now, it is his opportunity to attack, and he targets you. The Drayok take... I'm sorry, you tried to ask something?
I said, come at me, is what I said.
Well, that's exactly what he's going to do with his first attack. He tries to use his spear/sword combination to strike you. His first attempt manages to hit, and he hits you for... Let's see.
I have forecaster.
You do, don't worry, but he's managed to strike you. He does his damage. And he does 7 points of damage to you. That reduces you down to 25 points of health, my friends. You're now down below 50% of your health at this point. His second attack does manage to hit as well. He rolls a 14, which is exactly your hit, your armor class, doing for another spear damage, and he manages to hit for 5 points of damage. You are now down to 20 points of damage. You are now in to a lower area of health. You might want to be careful. Sildar is now up. Sildar being at the back of the area with the hooded lantern at his feet, quickly decides to turn the light over to make sure that everyone is well lit so that he can see his target. He targets the Drayok with his crossbow, pulls it up to his shoulder, draws a bead, and fires. Actually, no, he'll do that with his longbow. I'm sorry, I forgot that he actually has the longbow. Attacking with the longbow. And unfortunately, the arrow whizzes past its ear and slams into the stony wall behind the Drayok harmlessly and missing him. The next person who is alive, however, is your good dwarven friend, Druger, who is directly next to this creature. He's like, "You're not gonna be hitting my friend like that, you white little bastard," as he brings up his battle axe Hugh and brings it down onto this abomination of nature. Hugh goes and swings through the air. You hear the blade whistling through. And he manages to strike. And he delivers 12 points of damage, which is more damage than this person could take. The blade goes in through the collarbone and ends up buried halfway into the chest of the Drayok. It opens its mouth to scream. Nothing comes out. It falls to its knees, then onto its back, and is no longer a threat. And as a result, the combat is now stopped.
Oh, dang it, I was ready. Good job.
Thanks for killing everybody and keeping us all alive. But yes, all the bad guys are now dead. As you now find that the only sounds you hear instead of battle cries and shouts are now just the melody of the waves coming in and up out of the cave. and the echo of your own breath against the walls. What would the party like to do? By the way, your guide, Mormesk, the Wraith, had faded in, and it had actually summoned to your aid at one point, it seemed, a green flame blade, green skull that had come in and did combat, but as soon as its target died, they faded away. You notice that they are no longer present in the actual combat zone. Both the green skull, flame skull, and Mormesk have dematerialized and are no longer in the field of combat. Ruger, you are still sitting on the edge of the island there at the mouth. As you start to move towards the energy field, you feel it pushing you back. You could kind of move into it a little bit, but you get to a certain point where the resistance just becomes too great, and you're not able to progress any further.
So, do you want to loot those guys and come over across the lake or whatever it is? The lagoon?
Oh yes, come across the water. Yes, I see what you're saying now. So yes, just to you guys can't see it on the Twitch stream, Ruger is up here on the island, which is kind of out of visible range of you guys because of the differences in the altitude. But you guys, as you guys are doing so, you hear what sounds like a voice calling from up inside this hallway.
Okay.
Ruger, do me a favor, because you're the closest person to that opening. Do me a favor and give me a perception roll, please. Ruger. There we go. All right. Ruger, you can't hear... You can hear that there's a voice, but you can't quite make out what it's saying, nor can you get a clear read on it because of what's happening inside of the waves. It's just a little bit too much. You guys can all hear that there's definitely someone coming, it sounds like, from up in this direction, and it seems to be getting closer.
Let's go then.
Define go.
Across the river in case it's more of them coming.
All right. Just to remind you guys, you have a ropes strung from this close point here to this close point here. You guys will have to make your way down that rope into the water, use the water as a hand over hand to get over to the other side, and then Ruger can help get you up onto that small island.
That just sounds like something is dying to jump at us.
Well, no, Steve got across. I mean, Ruger got across just fine earlier. I don't think there's anything in the water. I'm more afraid of who's coming towards us.
You got a good point.
Ravina, do you want to float across?
Am I able to do that? I was about to ask.
Yes, you can. You remember, you have the ability to float anything from just literally along the surface like you're hovering, or you can go up to 6 feet off the surface of the ground. So
you should carry the key.
Was that?
Maybe you should carry the key across. So if somebody falls
Sure.
in the water, it doesn't get lost.
The key? I think that's Cauldron, right? Or is that
I
Elren?
must.
Cauldron.
Yep, Cauldron.
Okay.
Cauldron has the key at the moment.
All right, I'll get it from Cauldron, and then I'll go across. Then, do I need to roll?
No, because of your ability to float, this is innate to you. This would be like having you roll to be able to walk across a floor. So it's fine.
Oh, great.
You go and hover down. You gently float across the surface of the water as it undulates up and down, and then you get over to the other side and adjust your height and find yourself sitting on the hilltop here with your good friend Ruger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
let's
can't get
have to
on.
wait for
Apparently,
her.
it's saying there's a wall.
Yep. And now you're
Thank
up
you.
there. And now you are up there. So let me quickly.
Amazing.
Yes, isn't it funny how we can do that? It's a miracle. Let me quickly change this. All right. And now that you guys are up on that wall, the wall you could actually see a little bit better. Correct. So how would the rest of the party like to proceed? Are you guys going to go and follow your two friends over there to that side, or what's the story?
I think Cauldron will follow, yeah.
All right. So as you guys start going over to the other side, you see that there is hopping into the opening a creature that looks vaguely familiar. Gagged, hands bound.
The opening of the green or of the hallway?
The hallway to the north. As you guys start to look, you can see the outline of a silhouette. And as it starts to get closer and closer, you can see that it's, in fact, a large, ruddy-faced, bald-headed, curly-bearded dwarf that you've come to know and love but have not seen for a long, long time. It is your good friend Gundren, and he has been gagged over his mouth, and it appears that his hands are bound behind his back. His feet have the leftovers of what appear to be bindings still draped around his ankles as he's trying to shuffle his way along the floor past the bodies of the slain that you have just defeated as he's trying to make his way over to you. As he gets over to where you guys are, Druger goes and cuts off the remaining of his bindings and pulls the gag off of his mouth. He's like, well, I didn't know if you would all be getting back here. I can't tell you. I'm so glad to see you. I thought I was a goner for sure. How the devil did you find me in here?
Well, it's good
Dear,
to
no,
see you,
look,
Gundren. It's
honestly.
been a while. But I will be honest, we weren't particularly looking for you. I mean, we got lucky here. And I'm glad that we were able to find you. What's been going on?
Yeah, sorry, no offense. We weren't really looking for you, but, we're great we saw you.
Well, that would explain why you're not being more careful. These guys here, they're just the vanguard. The whole office is down behind me. Their forces, they're down behind the barricades. They've come down from the surface trying to find their way into Wave Echo Cave. They're all holed up on the other side. I managed to get free and break my way over here. But they'll be along any second. What are we gonna do?
We gotta get there before they do.
We gotta get where?
To Wave Echo Cave, the forge.
As you say that, he turns around and looks at the energy wall as if he's seeing it for the first time. Glad to have you, Elrin. By the way, Phil Daddario is here watching us right now, so say hello to Phil. Gundren turns around and he sees the energy wall filling the entrance of the cavern, and his eyes get extremely big, and he goes, oh, by the gods! I was starting to think it was nothing more than a fairy tale. And he starts to get a little bit misty-eyed as he's looking at it. He goes, oh, and they told me I was a madman all these years. I told them I knew where it was. And he looks up at you all. He goes, tell me I have the key. Please tell me y'all have the key.
Well, we do. Yes. But we're still trying to find our way through this green energy.
He looks at you all and he goes, well, you gotta give it to me quick. None of you besides me or Drugger be able to open it. Only a person of dwarvish blood would be able to pass their way through with the key in their hand. If the rest of you try, you're just gonna find yourself being disintegrated.
Well, that's good to know, but I hope you understand our sus- cautious suspicion of handing this key to anyone outside of this party. We do have people here with Dwarvish blood, so thank you for that. I mean, you can follow us in and work with us as we do, but I'm not going to hand over the key to you. I hope you understand.
Well, whatever you're going to do, Missy, you better get us out of here soon, because I can guarantee you, and he looks down at all the dead bodies, goes, despite the fact that you've done well for yourself here, this is nothing compared to what's coming.
Well, as I said, it would be a good idea for everyone to come across the water now.
Druger's like, all right, you don't have to tell me twice, lad. So,
I think I did.
oh, right. Sorry. So Druger goes and runs over to where the rope is and ties it around his waist. He goes, all right, who's coming? I'll be the anchor point. So Gundren runs over. As he's walking by, you notice that he's dressed more or less in rags now. His armor is gone. Looks like his backpack, everything that he had on him appears to have been gone. He looks to be dressed, Cauldron, to your eyes, very similar to the slaves, the diggers that you saw up at the camp on the mountainside before you guys found the path down to the cave entrance. He's dressed in something that looks extremely similar. It looks almost like burlap held together with bits of leather and straps of worn hemp rope. So, Damien and Elrin, what would you guys like to do? Uh-oh, did we lose everybody?
Apparently, Elrin says wherever Angelina is going, but if what Gundren is saying is true, then we can't go through the energy because we're not of Dwarvish blood, right?
Well, you can, but you gotta be literally touching the person who goes through. Okay, he looks. Who's got a bloody key?
I have the key.
Right. Who's got a bloody key? All right. Someone needs to mute the.
I have the key.
Someone needs to mute me on Twitch. All right. Someone needs to mute the.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That's me. Sorry, I was like, what's happening right now? I switched over Discord onto my phone, and I mean my laptop.
Okay, great. I was like, wow, that was a pretty significant echo. So anyhow, as I was saying, Druger's got they're busy tying the rope around. You see him digging his heels into the soft earth at the top of the cliff face wall. Damien and Elrin, you guys are still over by the dead bodies. Gundren grabs a hold of the rope, drops down into the water, and starts making his way across. Now, the water isn't terribly deep, but he is only a dwarf. That water is quite deep for him, so he's going to have to make a maneuverability roll here to make sure that he does not potentially drown on his way over. As he goes down the wall and he drops into the water here, you start hearing him splashing and struggling as his head goes underneath the water. Clearly, he has not been very well treated, and it does appear that your good friend Gundren is now once again getting in over his head, this time quite literally, and he begins drowning.
Is there some way to verify his identity? This just seems all too coincidental for him to suddenly show up right between the bad guys. Does anybody else have that feeling?
Well, you can certainly ask him questions when you see him.
Well, he's drowning now. But,
Well, I was going to say he is kind of dying at the moment. It may be a fait accompli in a few seconds.
I think Cauldron will try to help him not drown.
All right,
yeah,
Cauldron.
I'm a neutral good paladin, not a lawful good.
And it's like, well, we're gonna wait and see what the fates say on this one.
I'm not convinced that's Kundra.
All right. So Sildar goes, well, I don't know which one. If I don't know if he's the real one or not, but I know that there's an old secret handshake that we used to have back when he used to be the supplier when I was in the army. But if he's dead, we're never gonna know.
Okay, I'll get down on my end and see if we can get to him.
All right, so you jump down into the water holding on to the rope. Go ahead and give me a strength roll, please. You need to roll better than a 10. You're a very strong celestial. So picking up this rather portly but rather beefy dwarf is not child's play, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. So you manage to get one arm firmly wrapped around the rope, another one firmly wrapped underneath the armpit of this portly dwarf, and you pull him up sputtering and spittering as he's like, and he's coughing up all of this seawater as you start pulling him back up out of the seawater there, and you manage to get back up onto the walls, and he's lying down on the ground, coughing and wheezing and spitting as he's getting rid of all of the water that he managed to suck into his lungs. Who's next?
Hello?
Cauldron, you want to finish coming across?
Yeah.
All right, Cauldron, you drop down into the water, and you start making your way across. You're about 5.5 feet tall, if I recall, correct?
I checked, but my game just froze up on me.
All right, let me take a look for you. Taking a look, I believe...
Am I able to carry anyone across?
No, you don't have that kind. It's not that kind of group flight. You can float yourself, but it's not true flight. It's more like a hover, as it were. I don't remember your exact height, Cauldron, but we're going to call you 5.5 feet tall, so give us a roll. You just need to roll a 10 or better, please, on whatever you'd prefer, athletics or dexterity, whichever you have a better roll at, which I believe in your case would almost certainly be dexterity. Yes, it does. Would appear to be.
Can you roll for me real quick?
Yep. Giving your ability check on a 10 or better. Oh yes, 15. You easily manage to go, and every time the waves start coming up, you manage to pull your head up out of the water, and you manage to get yourself up the wall and onto the small island there with the rest of your compatriots. Damien and Elrin, what are you guys going to do next?
Well, I guess the same thing. I mean,
all right, so I'll move you over there to kind of the takeoff point, as it were. You go step in front of Sildar. You go down the wall. You start heading across. Now, go ahead and give me a skill check, please. You can either be athletics or it can be dexterity, whichever you feel is the better one for you.
Balls, would you be able to do that for me for a quick second? My hands are kind of full.
Okay, there we go. It will be athletics because that was the one you have the biggest bonus on. You managed to roll a 13. No problem. You managed to go an easily wade across. The water's cold. Occasionally water gets up a little bit high on your neck, but it never really becomes much of a threat. And you easily scale the wall on the other side and manage to get up onto the rest of the party. That leaves just Ildar, Druger, and Elrin on the other side. Who's going next? How about we have Elrin go next, because that's kind of closer to what the marching order. So Elrin, you begin to shinny down the rope down into the water and using the handholds, hand over hand, making your way through the tidal waters as they're coming in and out, and the undulations make you unsteady on your feet, and occasionally threaten to swamp over your face. Please give me either a strength or a dexterity check, please, to see if you are able to hold on. You want to be able to roll at some total of 10 or better. Fantastic, you managed to roll a 13. You come down to the water, you find the bottom a little slippery. A couple of times your boots maybe threaten to slip out from underneath you, but you manage to re-steady yourself and you manage to get back up onto the wall. It's getting rather crowded on the top of that island. You kind of have to lean a little bit into the energy field, and you kind of feel that sense that it's almost like you're leaning uphill, like it wants to push you away. But you're okay where you are for the time being relative to the space itself, which leaves Sildar and Druger. Sildar quickly extinguishes the light that he's carrying so that the light will not potentially extinguish. Puts the hooded lantern away, drops down into the water and begins to try and make his way across. Now, he was at one point a very strong old bear, but he's not quite as strong as he used to be. But nonetheless, as he goes and tries to make his way across, he manages to just barely make it to the other side and up the wall. At one point, he actually slips off of the rope. You see his head disappear under the water, but he manages to hold on with one hand, pulls himself back up, steadies himself, gets his feet back underneath him, and then manages to go hand over hand, Batman and Robin climbing the wall with the bat tether type of style up the wall of the other island, and gets himself where he needs to be. He looks at everybody with kind of like that none of you saw that happen, right? Look on his face as he manages to get there, which of course just leaves Druger. While Druger is getting ready to shinny down the rope himself, Sildar begins trying to relight the lantern and manages to do so eventually. And that way you now have your light source once again.
Well, there's still the light in the water, right?
There is still the light in the water, but it's that light is partially submerged, so that light's not going as far as, you know, something that would be outside of the water, which is presently what you guys are looking at right now.
We could do another light cantrip. We need to.
Okay. There you go. All right. Druger drops down into the water and begins shinnying across. This is a little tricky for him. He keeps the rope tied around his waist. So Ruger and Druger and Damien, if for some reason his feet would come out from underneath him, you guys would be able to just pull him in like an anchor and pull him up the wall. But as he does, he's of all of you, he's probably one of the strongest. He goes ahead and tries his best to make his way across. Checking on his strength. He manages to roll a 20, no problem. Pulls himself across and climbs up on the wall. You guys are kind of elbow to elbow and wet and dripping and cold on the other side of the wall. And you can hear what sounds like many feet running from this direction, the direction that Gundren just came from. And he's like, "Hi! It looks like they're finding me. Look, one of us is going to have to hold on to the key and then walk through the energy wall in front of us. It's the only way it's going to go away. So tell you what, it's going to either have to be me or Druger. You're going to have to give one of us the key, and everyone's going to have to hold on, and we'll walk through the energy field together."
I say give it to Druger.
Okay, Druger at one end, everybody in between, Gundren at the other end.
All right. So Druger holds on to the key, and everyone starts trying to push against the wall. It's interesting, you feel this sensation like the wall is like this membrane, that it doesn't want to let you in, that there's almost like a physical resistance pushing against all of you. The first time you try to pass through, it doesn't work. So you try again.
Do we remember how to? Isn't there a tune that that talked about Mormons that we were supposed to use, or is that just open the box?
That was to open the box. That was to open the box.
All right, I've got nothing then.
All right.
I am not. I've tried to find out. I wonder if Angelina. Ravina.
I don't think I have any. It's like all of mine are like more for battle.
I think the key let us in.
Key out of the bag. And you notice that it's pulsating with that lavender glow extremely intensely now. But it seems to be almost like in a rhythm. And Gundren looks at you and says, You might have had something there, lad. You brought up an interesting point. What was that old ditty? That song we used to hear the kids singing outside of the Stonehill Inn every night. The one about Mormesk, about him being stuck down a Wave Echo Cave for the rest of his life. Does anyone here remember it? It was something about, oh, father, dear father. What was the rest of it?
I can pull up a YouTube video for you.
Yeah, what the bloody hell? What is a YouTube video? I don't know what that is. But it was something about, oh, father, dear father. Why do not fear? You promised to come home should trouble come near. For there's mother and brother and daughter to save. But now you're still waving down, guarding down, Wave Echo Cave. Was that it?
So yeah.
Sounds about right.
Uh-oh.
Oh? Well, that worked.
Well, sort of. One moment. You guys may get bumped here. If that happens, I apologize in advance.
Cool stuff.
Because I have been booted out of the scene. Hold on.
Well, that doesn't help.
That's a problem.
Yeah, slight problem. So let me try getting myself back in. Somehow I got dropped. Hopefully nothing happens to you guys as I do this.
No, we're all here actually.
Yeah, they get stuck a little. Yeah, we're. No, he was. That was funny. He was mentioning about something else earlier on, but now it does seem like the game is a wee bit stuck. Here we go. Am I back in? 99%. Give me 100. Okay, we'll try one more time.
Pretty.
There we are. Oh, then it started me over again.
Oh.
Come on. I wonder if this means that the Twitch stream is going sideways again.
Stream. It sees what I see.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I can't seem to get in. Here's hoping I can get in a moment. Come on, baby. Yay! I'm in! I am in. Sorry about that. I don't know what it clicked on, but it should look like this. It's not supposed to be this bright.
Cooler now.
Yes, it should be looking like this, but that's okay. As you walk in, you suddenly find yourselves immediately transported to the other side of the barrier. And what you're presented with on the other side is this enormous cavern that is illuminated in all sorts of areas with these yellow and green gemstones that present a sickly glow, but by the same token also comforting in the sense that the entire cavern is lit up almost as bright as day. And as a result, you can make out that this cavern ceiling goes up hundreds of feet into the air, and the water moving up and down almost like a breathing animal. These deep, rich blues and greens from clearly sources of these crystals that are actually inside of the water itself as the water rises and falls. But strangely enough, there's an odd quiet. The sound of the waves is sort of stopped as the water just seems to go up and down, like I said before, more like a breathing animal and less like waves crashing against the shore. You're standing on a small island. You're about 5-10 feet in the air. As you look around, you see that there's a number of fragments of islands across the entire inside of this cavern as far as your eyes can see, and that the edges of the cavern itself are roughly about, depending on where you're looking, anywhere from 5 to 15 feet above the water, plus or minus 5 feet as the water moves up and down with its natural pulsations. Directly in front of you, you see a small bridge, rickety, ancient, worn, and you see that it leads out to a series of these small broken islands that lead across the cavern over to what looks like a small island in the middle. There appears to be the ruins of some statues, possibly even gateways along these bridges where parts of the ceiling have collapsed and taking these structures out. But you can still find that there is clearly multiple paths that can take you over to this island. There's an eerie quiet, almost unsettling presence in this room. What would you like to do?
I whispered to Sildar, did you try the handshake?
Ah! Well, that's a good point. He pulls out his longsword and grabs Gundren by the throat and goes, "Listen here, you little bastard. You've caused me a lot of trouble over the last 6 months. And if you aren't that dwarf, you're gonna find yourself kissing steel. So, I'm gonna only ask you once. Do you remember the handshake we used to use over at Kissinjar Pass?" And you see the dwarf sitting there for a few minutes, and he starts to sweat and stammer. He's like, "Kissinjar," and he goes, "What the hell? We were never in Kissinjar Pass." And Sildar goes and puts his sword back inside of his holster, and he goes, "That's right. We never were." And he looks over at you guys and he goes, "Well, I'm convinced."
Yeah, me too.
All right.
I say we just head towards.
Gundren, however, is not quite done. He's, "You bloody mind, you daft veteran bastard! What have you got, STD or something?" That's
I look at Gundren and say, you do realize we're here to seal the Forge of Secrets, right?
Seal the forge! Are you out of your bloody minds? We're sitting on a fortune here! Can't you see this? This is the forge! And he starts running across the bridge, kind of like...
I grab him.
Wait! No! I want to go! I've been waiting for this my whole life!
Can we gag him?
Well, you had originally gotten rid of the gag the last time you were here, but yeah, if you want to gag him, you absolutely can. As he starts running by, you manage to grab the back of his collar and you yank him back, and he takes a look at Ravina and do me a favor, Ravina, give me an intimidation check.
Okay. Intimidation. Oh well, I have a check mark. Normal?
Yes. Alright, you roll a 20. He's like, okay. You have to understand. I've been doing a lot to try and get here. This is why you're all here, because I was trying to find this thing.
Yes, but you have to understand, this is bigger than fortune. This is the fate of the cosmos.
Fortune won't matter when we're all dead. Okay? Put it nicely.
Well, let's at least go and examine it before we go smashing things. You know, there may be other paths we can go to.
I'm glad I didn't hand you the key when you asked for it.
He's mildly insulted by that, but also deathly terrified of you. So it's probably the two sets of glowing red eyes you have underneath that hood that is quite unsettling to him. It's the dark black face and the dark red glowing eyes that probably has him trying to hold in what he drank this morning. All right, so how would the party like to proceed? What would you guys like to do?
Well, I think that we should head over to the forge. I'm going to make sure that Gundren is looked after, and if he makes any moves that we don't support, we'll throw him into the water and not bring him back up.
Okay. All right. So I need a marching order, please, and I'll move the party along the bridges, because trying to get you guys to do this individually will be messy.
Let's keep Gundren on the inside with cocooned by the two clerics, just so that he's not gonna break
There's no
off.
two clerics.
Well, like between Ravina and I, just so that he doesn't get tempted to try and touch anything.
Don't. And Sildar walks up to him and points a gloved hand in his face and goes, "Don't touch nothing." Right.
Also, I think that maybe one of the dwarves should go first, just in case the whole thing about only getting through if you're a dwarf stands to be true.
That's good thinking, lass. I'll go up by Cauldron. We're usually going in through doors together. It'll be just like old times.
Sounds good.
And that brings up Sildar and Damien. Sildar was bringing up the rear with his lantern. You notice that the lantern, by comparison to the illumination in the room, you could barely tell the lantern's there. So Sildar just seals it up. There's that much illumination inside of this cavern. So this is the marching order I kind of have you guys in. Is this satisfactory to the party?
Yep, looks good.
This is good.
Awesome. So, which path will you guys just tell me what path you would like to take on your way up there? I didn't know I was asking such a tricky question.
Cauldron, your call.
All right. Let me check something here.
Do a perception check.
Yeah, so let's have her do a perception check, and we're going to have Druger do some stone cunning. He's going to do a stone cunning check. Here we go. All right. This will be against his wisdom with advantage.
If he's a stone cunner, does that mean that he has like that cool song with like Homer and all those guys in the red coats?
Ugh. Well, I don't know about that. No, that's a different kind of.
Are those stone cutters?
Those were stone cutters. And his stone cutting, he looks down and he goes, you know, I know a lot about tunnels, but bridges and caverns a little bit outside of my milieu. But you, Cauldron, as you take a look, you realize as you're looking at that bridge that's immediately to your left, that one looks fairly sturdy. And as you were down looking across at the one that's over here to your right, you notice that there is significant rot on that bridge, and probably not something that would be able to take the weight of the party.
Alrighty, then we'll go down this way.
Fantastic. You make it across the bridge, no problems. Druger right behind you, trying to stay within 5 feet as he's holding the key in his hands. Both of you guys notice something interesting about the key. The key is no longer pulsating. The key has gone quiet. Very strangely. Ravina, you end up taking a position in directly behind Ruger. The terrified dwarf right behind you, Gundren, and then our 2 warriors bringing up the rear. Cauldron.
Should I heal Ravina while we've got a moment?
If you would like. If you guys would like to do some healing or things of that nature, would you like to do that right now?
Can someone heal me too? Because I am really bleeding badly.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry.
Damien looks like he's been rode hard and put away wet. He's at less than 50% of his HP.
All right, I got Damien.
Okay, I'll lay on hands on Ravina.
Fantastic. How many points are you going to put into Ravina?
15.
Perfect. That brings her up to 40 hit points. Please mark that off on your character sheet there, my good man. And who is going to be healing Damien?
Me.
There. Awesome. There we go. And you managed to heal him for 16 points, which gets him up a fairly significant piece there. I mean, that's not too bad for you. I mean, that's almost where Angelina's type of healing would have been. So very well done there. However, Damien's still down almost 20 hit points from his maximum, but definitely he is over that critical 50% threshold, which makes a lot of people very, very nervous.
I do. I have a potion, yeah. Wait, didn't I give him 2?
Damien does have potions in his inventory. That is true.
Damien, drink that.
I could definitely take. I'll use one of those to heal the rest of myself. Then.
But they gave them to you, but you've already taken them. You were almost dead after the first combat that you were in.
Oh, so he doesn't have any more?
Nope, he took them and he consumed them. I do believe that a couple of you have them, though. I think that...
Yeah, I still have 3.
Okay, you might want to give those out because Elrin does not have any.
No, I do not.
Okay, I have...
Ravina, did you want to take advantage of the alternate universe?
For me to heal?
Well, just...
Oh, to carry them!
Yeah, okay. I shouldn't remind you, but I'll remind you.
No. I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't want to put everybody in my amulet. I only...
Well, you have to go in. You have to go in with them. You have to go in with them, but time moves differently in there. By the way, Spirit Guardian is worn off. Just letting you know.
Oh, that's right, because we could take a long rest.
Correct.
With the brooch.
Yeah, I will then... Who else is down? It's only Damien, right?
Damien is down. Ruger is down. Ruger, are you still... No, Ruger's not. That's right. Druger is down. He's down about 27. Cauldron, I think you're okay, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine, I think.
Yeah, yep,
But
you're
I'd like to take a
100%.
long rest just to renew my
Yeah, it's
abilities.
Druger and Damien that I probably should put in my amulet.
All right. So the way that time works in the amulet, 10 minutes in the amulet is essentially in real time in our world is the equivalent of an 8-hour rest. And while you're in that brooch, as long as the alternate reality has not been damaged, you can stay in there perfectly safe, and no one can harm you unless they harm the brooch, or unless your patron has been challenged and beaten.
Brisket, anybody down to come in?
Well, it would do me a lot of good to renew my abilities with a long rest, so I would try it.
All right.
You coming too? Okay.
I fear no evil, so
All right.
let's
So
give it a
here's
go.
what we're gonna do, folks. Oops, I moved those around the wrong way. Let me move this around this way. We're going to Ravina. You cross your arms in front of you, and you close your second set of eyes. And the bottom set become yellowish red, and you start to murmur underneath your breath, and all of the members of the party slowly begin to dissolve into a red mist, and they swirl into the center of the brooch that's clasped about your neck that holds your hood. And then you, in turn, also turn into a fine mist, and you go into the brooch, and the brooch floats over and pins itself to Cauldron's cloak.
Now, I just want to make sure. I also want to bring in Gundren.
I think we're all going in, are we not?
Well, you can bring, you can have up to 6 people inside of the space, including yourself. So it's you and 5 people.
I'm gonna take Druger, Gundren, Elrin, Ruger, and Damien. I'm gonna leave Cauldron and Sildar out.
Okay. All right. So everybody besides Cauldron and Sildar, please take a long rest. And in the alternate universe that you will be stepping into, it will actually count as a new day. So please make that choice. And use the option of your hit dice if necessary to heal yourself.
Oh, it didn't even ask me. Wait, yes, it did.
I was going to say it should have. Now, because you're taking a long rest, both Ravina and, well, actually not so much Ravina, but Elrin, if you wanted to adjust your spells, you may do so at this time.
Oh God.
Please give Damien a long rest. I don't think he knows how to do it.
I will make sure that he does so. Long rest, new day.
Thank you, thank you.
And you have recovered your remaining hit points, sir. Your spell slots have been reestablished. You had actually cast Chromatic Orb with lightning, with mixed results.
Please for Druger as well.
Alrighty, Druger's going to do a long rest, and that will allow him to get his much-needed Battlemaster points back, so now he can do those fancy schmancy attacking moves that are so impressive with his Battle Axe Hue.
Yes.
Has everyone, you can turn off, I will turn off your concentration, Elrin, because you are no longer concentrating, but here is the bad news about doing something like this. The long rest also means that for all of the people that were receiving aid, that is no longer running for you anymore because of the fact that Mage Armor, by the way, also for you, Damien, is no longer running, and it is no longer running for you, Ravina. Although turning it on for you is no major thing because you can do that essentially at will. All right. So, Druger, I need to turn it off for Druger too. Now, because of that, everyone's hit points needs to come down to where their max is, because you guys had temporary hit points that were given to you by aid. So if your hit points, and by the way, that's you, Elrin, yours needs to come down.
I think I still have aid running on me.
I think you do too. I see it there, and I need to get rid of that. I hate to do this to you, but I need to take those back. You have a slightly different character sheet. I like this character sheet too. I don't often work with it, so I'm a little confused-icated.
I'm not gonna lie that this music that's in the background of this cave kind of sounds like the potion music from Legend of Zelda.
Great. That's what I want, is a copyright strike. Thank you.
I'm saying it sounds similar. I'm not saying it is. Jesus.
There we go. All right. So after about, it's actually more about 20 minutes. After about 20 minutes, actually, for you, Cauldron, it wouldn't be over because you are staying in this world. All that's gone by.
I thought because she was casting it and.
You know, this is kind of one of those weird things because, you know, technically yes, but technically no. It's her spell, but your body has the spell running on you in this world. You haven't left this dimension. So for you, time passes normally. So we're going to leave it for you. Unless you want me to take the 5 hit points back.
I'll keep them, I guess.
There we go. It's like, that's one of those, okay, do you want me to hurt you? There we go. Awesome. We're off and running now. So everyone, after about 20 minutes, by the way, inside of where you were inside this wonderful ruby colored room with ensconced walls, lots of silken pillows, soft music playing in the background from a little harp playing on its own in the corner, fruits and cheeses laid out for you guys to enjoy, chirping birds. It was quite lovely. And what feels like 8 hours for you, as you all take a nice long sleep on the various couches and pillows and silk sheets that make up the oasis inside of the brooch, you come back out, and Sildar and Cauldron are still there, and for them only 20 minutes has passed.
I can walk on water now.
There you go.
Just the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z, where they go in for like half an hour and they basically spend a year training.
There you go.
Like Narnia.
So Cauldron, as you go across.
Singularity. Oh god, that's a bad book. Okay, nice.
So Cauldron, as you pass over the next get up to the next separation, it would appear that either one of the bridges looks like it would be satisfactory and be stable to walk across. So it's up to you as to which one you would like to go across. Would
you say both are stable?
Looks to be that both of these look equally stable.
Alright, then I'll move this way.
Fantastic.
Because there's less bridges over here.
Excellent. Alright.
Like a bridge over troubled caverns.
Alright. Elrin and Ravina, you guys are straddling the bridge as well. Ruger coming up the back, and then Damien and Sildar. I'm gonna keep your perception going on. The bridge that you see in front of you looks a little rickety. You're pretty sure it will hold you guys, but if anybody were to try stomping on it, or if people weren't going over one at a time, there's a chance it might break.
Alrighty, I'll tell the party to be careful, and then tell them that we should go over one at a time, just in case.
Alright, you go across to here, and as you do, You manage to make it over successfully. You do hear creaking, groaning, and it sounds like some of the hemp rope may have been stretched and strained. The bridge that's directly in front of you, though, however, looks like it's fine. And even if it wasn't, you're pretty sure you could jump the 3.5, 4 feet across to the next side. So you proceed over onto the small island. Druger starts to come over to join you. He does his check. He also successfully makes it across, no problem. But you hear slightly bigger groans, and you hear more of the hemp and snapping. You see some dust rolling off. And Druger's like, aha, the big breakfast, as he goes across and joins you on the other side.
Tie the rope from Druger to everybody except Ravina, who floats.
All right. Would you guys like to do that?
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys take the 50-foot rope. You only have the one. I think you only have one or two of them left. That's about a 10-foot span. So you won't be able to tie everybody that remains, but you can tie it, untie
together, it. One by one, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you won't be able to tie the whole party together. So, Ravina, this is irrelevant for you because you just float across. There's no sound at all as you manage to get over. No need to check to see if the bridge will break because you're actually not even touching it. All right. So, Ravina, as you go, you're going to take that rope with you. And the other end of it is tied to Gundren. All right. So Gundren goes to go across. He tries to cross the bridge.
Oh, God.
And as he gets about halfway across, you hear a loud crunch. And as you do, he gets dropped into the water. When he hits the water, he goes under, like a rock. Let me see if we have to get into a quick little contest here. Druger is going to have to make a strength check to see if he can hold on to him. Fortunately, that strength, massive dwarven warrior strength of his, is all we needed, and he manages to hold on to Gundren, who's now sputtering and screaming and splashing at the water, but he pulls him up onto this edge, and then Gundren comes across. He says, this is the second time I've been dropped into the bloody water. Do I look like a sea elf to you?
You're lucky we didn't let go.
Well, now there's a little problem. This bridge that's in front of you right here now has a big missing section in the middle of it.
How big?
Like a good 5 feet. So you have a choice. You can either go back the direction you came and try the other smaller bridges, or you could try jumping across that on this bridge that looks a little bit weak. What would you like to do?
Are you the one that you said that you prepared water walking?
I sure did.
Okay. All right.
So, I'm just worried because Spirit Guardians is also in that spell slot, but we'll live.
I feel like you guys could just go on the other
You
bridges.
could try another way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we try the bridge on the other side?
Certainly.
If you do water walking, then you wouldn't have to worry about getting everybody across, because I think it can target multiple people.
Yeah, I can target a surface.
Oh, okay. So if you were to target this square right here, that spell for its duration would provide...
Oh, wait. It says... Hold on. Up to 10 willing creatures. Yeah, you can use this within range.
All right.
Okay.
How long...
But I was wondering if we could try the other bridges across, just in case I don't have to use it. That'd be great.
Your call. Your spell.
I'll walk across the other bridges to test them out
All right.
first, just because if I end up going under, I can just cast the spell.
All right. As you pass this first bridge, give me a roll a 1d10 for me, please.
All right. Hey, which one's 10?
The one in the
This
middle.
one's 10. Damn it. That's not 10, that's 8. That's 10. Wait. Roll.
You successfully make it across the first bridge. As you cross the second one, roll a 1d. Go ahead.
What are the conditions of this? Still kind of rickety?
This one looks pretty rickety.
Oh my god. I almost...
But you do manage to get across the second bridge. This one here in front of you looks to be very similar.
Easy money.
And you make it across that bridge. And the last one looks to be pretty solid, but irrespective, you make it across.
Great. And if anyone falls, then I'll use it as backup, but I don't want to...
Well, we also have the rope still.
Well, that's on the other bridge.
No. It was tied to Gundren. So you could,
okay.
and the other end is tied to your personal boulder, Druger. So Druger can come down here. How do you want to do this? Do you want to try going across this opening, Steve, or do you want to try going across these bridges?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do an athletics and go across the
Okay.
one that Gudrid fell through.
Well, if you want, this is only
the last one without having to roll 3 times.
There you go. This bridge is only 10 feet across. If you wanted to try and jump it. Do you want to try and jump it, or do you want to try going across careful? Yes. Well, I heard bang, bang, bang. I didn't hear what you said, though. You said you wanted to go across this bridge, correct? Steve?
Oh.
Uh-oh, we lost Steve. He's muted. Let me try and unmute him. I don't know how he muted himself. I can't unmute him. He's muted on his side.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now. Are you going to try and go across? Oh, was that him dropping? That was him dropping. We hear you, Steve. Steve?
Now I can't hear him.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what to do, but if I'm back, I'm back.
Welcome.
Thanks. I'm just going to walk across the first bridge, jump past the bridge that Gundren fell through, and then walk past the last one.
All right. Okay, as you go across, I need you to roll a 1d6 for me, please.
Oh, it's not an athletics check to jump?
You're going to try jumping across the bridge?
Right.
Okay. Are you going to try and jump the whole section is what I was trying to ask, or are you just trying to jump over the hole?
Well, I was going to jump the whole section.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, please. Try and clear that distance will be not overly hard, but I'll give it a 10. But you just rolled an 8. You rolled a 1. And you did a beautiful jump, but you landed here. You would have easily landed on the island, but your jump was a little off, and you've splashed into the water. Give me an athletics check to see if you're able to swim. We've lost him again. There we go. You managed to swim over to the wall over here, and Druger reaches down, throws the rope down to you, and you pull yourself back up.
I thought he was tying the rope around all of us.
Okay.
We come across.
I didn't know you'd actually tied the rope to you, but irrespective, you swam over, he pulled you up, rope being around you, all's well with the world. So everyone's alive. Damien, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go up the path here and try to jump across the broken bridge? Do you want to try rolling your luck here, or do you want to try going over these bridges?
I'm trying to think for a second. Shoot. So my choice is either go over here or here.
Or here. If you go here, you're going to have to jump across or try to do a maneuvering roll to get around the broken bridge. Or you're going to have to roll and take your chances with these bridges, or investigate these bridges and see whether or not they're a better option.
I'll investigate.
All right. You come up here. Go ahead and can you roll now? Can you give me a perception roll or an investigation, whichever one's better?
I'll go with perception because I have a +5 on that one.
All right. Give me a perception roll. You need to roll a 12 or better. You roll a 14.
Barely.
All right. You roll a 14. You see that this bridge here, if you step on it, you're pretty sure it's going to crack in half. There's almost nothing holding it together except for the mold that's underneath it. You can try jumping it.
I mean, I guess it is a shorter distance than the other ones.
Yep.
Damien, do you want the rope to be attached to Druger in case you fall in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet down into the water. So if something does go amiss, it is water, but you don't know what's in that water. All right, so you are now at...
Into the water to see if anything reacted?
What was that?
Has we tried throwing anything in to see if it reacts?
Yes, you threw in you threw in a dwarf and a celestial.
Have already ended up in the water. 2 people.
I was about to say, that's what I thought. But nothing happened, so I guess we're. I mean, I guess we're not too worried. But anyways, I'll just try jumping it.
All right, give me an athletics check. All right, you managed to easily make it across. The bridge that's in front of you. What was your perception roll? The bridge in front of you appears to be perfectly stable.
Okay, well, we'll cross that one then.
All right.
Last bridge.
This one also appears to be perfectly stable. As you start going across it, you hear some very loud creaks and groans. It starts to set. Yep, you find some an area where it begins to sag, but you're able to get across without too much trouble, and you quickly find yourself on the island. Sildar decides to kind of go the same route that you did. He walks across the first bridge. By the way, he also has the rope around him. Makes it across that one successfully, goes across the second bridge, and as he goes across the final bridge, he manages to make it across. So congratulations, you are now all safe and sound and on the other side of the bridge. And with that, we will take a 5-minute bio break, ladies and germs.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, folks.
In a bit.
He's about to be.
Now I'm back. All right, guys. If you want to come back in, I'm going to unmute everybody.
What were you saying, Steve?
Just letting Kevin know that I don't know what's going on with the headset. I didn't touch it or touch the wire. Just suddenly I couldn't hear anybody. And it seemed like it disconnected. I'm not sure why. So I disconnected everything and reconnected it, but sorry about that.
All good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have back? Who do we not have back? I've unmuted myself. Anybody else need to be unmuted? Or are we good to go?
I'm back. Makiko's running.
back.
Makiko's hopping onto Discord. She had to go charge her laptop upstairs.
Gotcha. There she is.
I'm here.
All right, guys.
Wait, we don't know if Eva's here.
Oh, Eva.
Oh.
We have Eva back.
See, you need a better head count method.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Okay, do we have Eva back?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, folks. I think we have everyone back now. As you find yourselves on the other side of the rickety bridges over the treacherous drop down into the waters, you find yourselves at the entrance of a strange platform. It looks almost ceremonial in its construction. As you walk out onto, I'm gonna move you guys in there so I can get all of you guys in. We got Cauldron and Druger, Gundren. We have our trusty clerics, and then our fighters in the rear. What you see in front of you is an enormous fireplace-looking contraption. Steps leading up to what looks like a large hearth, with steps leading up to the very top, and in between the top, in almost like an altar-like position at the very top, directly over in this location up here. Even from where you guys are, you can see the top of what looks like a small table or platform. It is housed on either side of it. It is surrounded by these large gargoyle-like creatures. They look like demonic creatures. Not quite human, not orc, not devil. Damien, because of your background, you recognize these as being creatures of the Underdark. Basically soul stealers that were sent to Earth to do nothing more than to go to battlefields and to reap the souls of warriors that were unworthy and bring them down into the Underdark to fuel and feed the various demons and demonic entities that make up the Underdark itself. They're basically reaping the food that keeps all of the darkness and evil that is down there satiated, fed, and happy and well fed. Another thing you see in the middle is you see right here, you see an abnormally large anvil. The anvil itself is built into a small platform in the floor. It's raised up about a good foot and a half. You could easily stand on either side of it, swing a hammer, but the size of the anvil itself is almost comically large. But it looks very well worn, as if it has seen thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hammer strikes. as countless pieces of equipment, armor, swords, whatnot, have been created and forged and bent upon it. Immediately over to the right, you can see crystals coming up out of what appears to be a well in the ground. The well itself would appear to be a quench pit that is used in the quenching of hot metal that has been bent to the will of the blacksmith on the anvil, and that was where it would be set down to harden it to get it ready for its use on the battlefield or wherever it was ultimately going to be purposed. The floor itself is made up of hardened stones. You can see in a mosaic pattern, very dwarven in its feel, the geometric patterns that are typical of a dwarven construction. But it is fringed on four sides by these large copper bowls, these braziers that are holding glowing green crystals, and the entire platform is surrounded by these heavy iron links that make up walls about 3 feet high that surround the perimeter of this area that you find yourself in. Gundren is quite literally agog. He's like a kid in a candy store. He just keeps muttering, "Ah, it's the forge! It's the forge!" over and over again as he's walking along. And even Druger, who's clearly been with the party since the beginning and is well aware of what's at stake here, can't but find himself impressed by the craftsmanship and artistry of what he sees in front of him. Its complexity, its beauty, its elegance of both design and function all coming together. Hard for him to even associate the darkness that is at the heart of all of this. How would the party like to proceed?
I asked Silver to keep an eye on the way we came and let us know if anybody's coming in from behind us.
I've been way ahead of you there, young man. I've been watching behind us. Nothing's come through that barricade since we walked in here. It's pretty safe to say, unless some fella's got one of them there keys and a dwarf, not gonna be finding himself coming through that thing anytime soon.
I think we can go forward onto the forge.
Yes. Should we take like a closer look at any of this stuff? Inscriptions or, I don't know, traps or anything?
Alright, well, first of all, give me a perception check there, Cauldron.
Alrighty.
To the best of your knowledge from where you're standing, this facility looks way too solid for there to be something like a trapdoor. You don't see any edges, but I mean, with the way this thing is constructed, and with it being dwarven and of this caliber, you could be walking over a dark pit you'd never know until it, dropped underneath you. But from what you can tell, you can't see anything that obviously would indicate that there is anything even remotely resembling anything of that nature. It doesn't appear to be trapped at all. And from where you're standing, you can't see any inscriptions either.
If there's nothing useful in this room, I think we should just kind of head forward.
All right. So I'll. Do you want me to move you into the area here?
Sounds good.
I'll let you guys move yourselves where you want to. Druger wants to get a closer look at the anvil and at the actual forge. Gundren runs up the steps and starts looking at the altar slash forge fire pit type of thing. There's literally agog at the moment. Sildar jumps up on one of the walls here and starts looking to the south just to make sure that if there is anything coming through that he can see it. Damien, where are you placing yourself at this time?
Trying to think. The home map. That's a little bit. Trying to think. I think I'm gonna just kind of keep myself here for the time being.
All right.
Instead of them.
So as Druger walks up the steps towards the forge, he notices that there are some dwarven runes on the side of it that begin to glow with a similar kind of green light to what you guys see in the brazier and coming out of the quench tank. And he reads it out loud to you. And it says, "At the sacrifice of one, spare the lives of many."
Yeah, that's pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
And as he walks up he's got the key in his hand, and as he begins to walk towards that writing on the wall, the key literally is now shaking his hand, and it is pulsating louder and louder and louder, and you guys can now hear wind in your ears as it becomes louder and louder inside of the room. You can hear it reverberating off of all of the walls. Elrin, from where you're sitting, the water in this fire pit over here in the quench tank, it begins to get misty and bubble, and the water starts to quickly become agitated. The glow becomes more and more intense and becomes more frantic, almost like it is being pierced by something. And suddenly, just as you were beginning to wonder what it might be, the water erupts in a geyser of greenish, foaming water as something pierces from underneath and comes flying out of the surface and immediately flies directly above you. And you hear it scream to all of you as it begins to fly over your head. "Human, I told you we would meet again." And ladies and gentlemen, you see the creature that you had chased out of Thunder Tree.
Shoot! Hey!
Flying about 60 feet over your head is the notorious creature Venom Fang. It is a young adult green dragon with an impressive wingspan and a nasty disposition. And as it flies over your head, it looks over at Druger and says, "We will have the key." Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Do it! My god, I'm so glad I took a nap.
it is time to roll for initiative.
It's time to do the. Wait a minute.
You don't have to. Never mind. Initiative.
Initiative. Where's my initiative? Ah!
All right. All right, folks. Let me try and get some light on the subject here. We have a lighting situation. And let me quickly address that so everyone can see what is happening.
There's something big in the room.
There we go.
There's something alive in here. Something just went past my leg.
All right. We have now started combat. Damien, you are first in combat. Please, sir, what would you like to do?
Well, I feel like just running up to this thing and attacking it is kind of stupid.
Yes, thank you. We're learning. Very good, Damien.
So I'm
what?
gonna just run in and attack it.
Well, it's 60. It is 60 feet in the air above you, by the way.
Oh, it's 60 feet in the air. Hold on, let me check my. I do have a longbow. Wait, does this thing talk?
Well, he just said. I said we'd meet again, so clearly he does.
He's the one that we met the last time.
Do we actually want to try talking to this dude, or do we want
No,
to?
no, absolutely not. This guy's gotta go. We tried talking to him last time, remember? He was crazy.
Oh, hold on, let me see. So I'll do.
We'll try talking. He's like back on the ground and a little weak.
There we go.
Ah!
Well, you targeted yourself, which is good, but fortunately you
Oh,
missed.
then let me try again.
Well, you rolled a 6, which wouldn't have struck him. So your arrow whistles past his head and goes up into the air and disappears into the background of the cavern. Elrin, it is your turn.
Alrighty. Let's see here. I am going to. Oh goodness, I cannot remember what he was weak to. Cause he's got poison. Oh, what I'm gonna do. For the duration. Oh, I can only target one person with protection from poison.
Can you upcast it?
Huh?
Can you upcast it to get more creatures? I don't know what level spell it is, though.
I don't. It's a 2nd level. Let me see. I can take it up to 3rd level, but I don't. It says you touch a creature. For the duration, target has advantage on saving throws from being poisoned and has resistance to poison damage. I don't. Yeah, it's one creature.
Okay.
Now, it's worth noting that several members of your party are naturally resistant to poison. And one of them, I believe...
The dwarves cough.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna give it to Ravina. She is the most, powerful fighter, I think.
Well, if you'd like to, let's... Ravina, are you resistant to poisons? Let's find out here. So taking a look, nope, she's not. So that would probably be a really good thing.
I'm actually just going to be really selfish here, and as the only healer left, I'm going to give it to myself.
Yeah.
I
Here we
believe
go.
the phrase that you used earlier was, we're learning. We're learning.
We're learning. So, here
All
I
right.
come. Wait, did I just give it to Damien? I
You
targeted
did.
myself.
Doesn't look like it.
I did. I'm literally cocooned in red right now.
Okay. I will turn it on for you then. Let's
Sorry.
go ahead. That's all
Don't know what
right.
happened.
I don't know quite how you managed to do that to yourself, but or not do it to yourself more appropriately. So let me go ahead and cast that again for you, and I'll do it without costing you a spell. There you go. And I will go and turn that off of Damien. Not that you don't love him, but I understand. There we go. We have turned that off. All right. So that is your action for this turn. So, Cauldron. Unless there's anything else, would you like to move at all from where you are?
I love to take a few steps back. I'm gonna hide behind this anvil here.
All right. You are not within immediate range because of the height, so you do not have to take an attack of opportunity. You are placed in the anvil between you and the beast. Understood. All right, Cauldron. It is now your turn.
I think I will use my steady aim, lock on to the dragon, to give myself advantage, and then shoot at it with my short bow.
All right. Going for the sneak attack if you strike. And here we go. Let fly.
Fly, you fool! Fly, you fool!
Ooh.
And you managed to hit. Roll for your damage. There you go. Wow, you managed to hit for 11 points with a short bow. Very nicely done. Well, is that including your sneak attack, or is that...
Yes, because I have advantage.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So the arrow goes and smacks into one of the big leathery green wings, and you see the arrow bury itself into the flesh. Ruger, you are next, sir.
Okay, I'm going to cast Sacred Weapon on myself, and as a bonus action, I think I'll activate Branding Smite.
Sounds good. What was the first thing that you were okay, here we go. Sacred Weapon, that now gives your weapon a bonus. It also is now emitting light. Your hammer is now glowing, or is it your longsword in your case? It's your longsword, right?
It's the dragon killing sword.
There we go. The dragon sword is now glowing profusely, and you're running Branding Smite. But unfortunately, your target is 60 feet above you.
Yeah, I'll have to work on that next round.
Yes, understood. Understood. So is that it for you?
I'm going to move forward.
All right, so you're moving into combat range-ish, or at least in terms of being under him. Oh, you're trying to get underneath him. All right.
Yeah, we need to separate targets, so if he hits one of us, he can hit all of us.
Understood. Druger, seeing the dragon in typical dwarvish fashion, brandishes his weapons, comes forward, targeting the dragon, and whips off his throwing hand axe. And it misses. He then withdraws his longbow and attacks with the longbow. And he manages to hit. But he doesn't do terribly much damage. It kind of passes through the membrane. You see a small hole in his wing as the blade pushes through. And he decides not to push any other special attacks just yet. We now find ourselves looking at Gundren, who quite literally has nothing to attack with, so chooses to use the hide action and is hiding behind the statue. Which brings us to everybody's favorite, Warlock, Ravina.
Instead
I'm gonna choke. Okay, so I'm gonna target this guy. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna do Scorching Ray, all 3 on him.
All right. Let it go.
It's having me do a calculation. Do I do flat, natural armor, equipped armor, mage armor, draconic resilience, unarmored defense?
In your case, your mage armor should have kicked in automatically, so I just fixed that for you. So go ahead and cast your spell.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, go ahead and click your attack.
Let me roll it. Hold on. Attack, right? Or damage?
You need to attack when you do the damage. Let me know when you do the attack.
Okay, normal. Ooh.
Ooh-wee.
I do it 3 times, right?
Well, you create 3 rays. 1 attack, 3 rays. You can attack 1 target or several. Okay, make a ranged spell attack on each ray. That's number 1, so we know it's going to hit. Now, before you do the next ones, let's figure out the damage. Now, you're casting this at your current level as your pack magic, so that when you do the damage, it casts 1 level higher. So instead of it being 2d6, this is now going to be a 3d6 attack because you're using your pack magic slot to do this. All right?
3d6. Got it. Hold on, let me do that. Oh wait,
But it's
the
is it
formula
3D
says,
or is it you just make another ray?
the formula says 2d6 plus bonus. So, and it's normal, right? It's not a critical hit.
Correct. So in where it says situational bonus, put 1d6.
Oh, okay.
No, it says on the Scorching Ray thing that on here it says when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level higher, you create 1 additional ray. So she has another attack roll for 2d6.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You know what? I was interpreting that to mean additional damage, but I get what you're saying. Okay, right. So you can actually get 4 rays here, not 3. So your first one does 11 points of damage. Now attack with your second ray. Natural
nice.
20.
There you go.
Finally, we get a crit coming from our guys for once. All right, that is a blistering shot directly down the throat of the dragon as he opens his mouth to laugh at you. Please roll your damage. And this time you will use crit. You do 15 points of damage. That's nothing to sneeze at. All right, roll your 3rd ray, please.
How did I miss him?
Because you missed. Last attack, please.
Wait, so I don't roll a damage for that one?
Nope, no damage for that one because you need to hit him.
What the heck?
And you singed the hair of Damien. That wonderful white coiffed hair is singed as your ray of flame passes close to him.
Sorry.
After you hit
actual hell.
the dragon, after that natural crit that you hit him with, begins moving around, dodging in the air, bobbing and weaving, changing his attitude, moving back and forth, up and down, and the second 2 shots become much harder as he realizes you are actually a threat he probably wants to be concerned with.
Nice
Hey,
shot.
I did 26 points of damage though, so.
Yes.
No, actually more than that. No, I did 26.
If you guys are doing the math in your heads, you guys have done some significant damage in terms of overall damage itself. It would have easily killed any member of the party even at full health. And he's still fine. And he's still flying. And now he's angry. And now that he's going to go and use his attack. And he does his first. You see him breathe back. Take a deep breath, stretches out his wings as you see his chest begin to glow with greenish intent, and he breathes down into the party. Here we go. Oops, hold on. I need to move that.
He missed.
Coming from him. No, it doesn't work that way, honey.
He said,
It's zooming in the map on me instead of doing what it's supposed to do, which is this.
yeah, I'm scared.
There we go.
No,
There
I
we
don't
go.
like it.
Oh no.
That quite literally targets everyone in the party.
Minus Ruger.
And Sildar.
Yeah, minus Sildar and minus Cauldron. I think she wants more to be worried about. Yeah, we'll do this. He's going to aim it at you four, because he can't get Damien unless he does it this way. There we go. There is his attack, and his attack does not require us to determine whether or not it hits, because it is just there. There is now this poisonous, rolling, greenish gas comes flying out of his mouth, and everyone that is now targeted, which includes Ravina and...
Oh,
yeah, that's not good.
Don't you have advantage?
She
I
should.
did not roll advantage.
So roll
Just
again.
roll another time.
Yes. There we go. There's our 4 targeted people. You managed to, you will only take half damage, as I understand this.
Makiko, roll your saving throw.
Hold on a second here. Trying to look, is
You must
this...
have one or more control tokens in order to use this option.
You should have...
Oh, there we go. There.
Okay.
Am I just doing normal?
Yes. You are only doing this normally. You need to roll a 14 or better. Okay, so you're only taking half damage. Damien, do you, as a hybrid human, as a mutant human, I think you have immunity against.
I don't know if it's immunity. I think it's resistance.
Nope, it's immunity. You are immune
Oh, no.
to poison. That was the option you chose in your creation. So you will not, and neither will. Well, actually, Druger I think only has resistance. He has resistance, so he's only taking half damage at best, and if he makes his Constitution saving throw, he will only take a quarter.
No.
And he makes his saving throw, so he only takes a quarter of the damage. And what is that damage, pray tell?
Oh god.
It's a lot. It would have been 26 points. However, everyone who made their saving throw only takes a half. Damien, you take none because you are immune. Druger only takes what would be 6 points, rounded up to 7 points.
By the way, I'm actually confused. I'm looking at my character sheet right now, and my maximum hit points went from 53 to 48. Was there like a spell that gave us extra 5 or something? Oh,
Aid.
the mage armor.
Aid.
The mage armor.
Yes, but you also had aid, and when you guys went into the pocket dimension and you took the long rest, for you guys 8 hours passed, so aid was no longer running.
Gotcha. Okay. I literally, as I was saying it out loud, I figured it out on my own. I apologize.
No worries. So, but you are immune. Your character is actually immune to this noxious poison.
The poison.
Ravina, you do you managed to make your saving throw, but you still need to take
I got
13.
12.
You got 12, so you didn't succeed.
No,
you
wait, I did succeed.
You rolled a 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did pass your saving throw, but you take half damage, which is 13 points. So you need to reduce yourself down to, what is it, 31 points.
Got it.
All right. I'm doing that for you right now.
Oh, I already did it.
Okay. All right. Elrin, Yours also comes down, so you're down to 30 points.
Yeah. Shall I do that?
Please do.
Man,
All
he
right.
hits hard.
He does indeed. He does indeed. Fortunately, Druger took very little, and Gundren is hiding and whimpering behind the statue. Sildar and Ruger were not affected at all because they are out. That cone could not switch over to him, and the dragon had opted not to hit the Anasi, not part of the Ganassi, and as a result, you are not in trouble there. All right, so new round, ladies and gentlemen. Second round of combat.
I am nervous.
I'm the DM. Nice to meet you. Oh, actually, I forgot. He gets 2 attacks. That was his... Why did it re-roll him? Why did it re-roll him?
Must be an error. We should delete the character.
Let's do this over again. He was at...
Nice try.
Okay, hold
I
on a
roll.
second.
I roll
Out of
intimidation
existence.
against the DM.
Just a second. I'm going to fix this.
New rule: we roll for initiative every round.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. This is right now, right?
Yeah, or close to right.
Yeah, well, we're gonna call...
I usually just assume that I'm the first one to attack because of my +7 initiative. So.
Yep. All right. So he has one other attack though, and he swoops down from his 60 feet. He drops down nice and close to the ground and attacks Druger.
Oh.
And he bites at Druger. These massive jaws open up and slam closed as they come down as he tries to attack and bite the hardy dwarf. And
he misses!
and he takes his Druger takes his dodge over to the right as the teeth slam down and bite nothing but air. Now,
That's a little nimble dwarf, isn't he?
yes, he is. All right, Damien, your attack, sir.
All right. Well, this guy's still up here, and I'm not in range of getting attacked by turning my back just in case, am I? I want to try and travel to here.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you are not, you're outside the range of what would be considered an opportunity attack for the time being, because he just dropped down to the ground and attacked him. You are 10 feet away. You're right at the edge of it. We're gonna say no. We're gonna say that you're okay. All right.
Got it. Then if that's the case, and just because of the fact that my arrow, I'm trying to figure out what's the. Hold on, let me look at my stats for quick. Everyone, bear with me for a moment. My mouse is all glitchy. Well, no, because I'm looking at my I want to look at my attacks because my longbow at max. I think what sort of damage does it do? I'm trying to see the amount of damage it can do. Yeah.
Your sword will do a lot more damage.
Significantly.
Well, no. It's 60 feet in the air. Unless I threw.
No,
my
he's
sword.
He's not. He's now on the ground, but for whatever reason, it's not.
That's right. He just landed because he had to attack the dwarf. Now the gauntlets of ogre power. Can that be applied? Your strength score is 19. They have no hidden.
So that means physical attacks with a sword do a shit ton more damage than your bow will.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, does that apply to my sword's attack as well? If that's the case, then hell yeah, let's go straight first. Let's go for the. Okay, I am targeted on him. I will run in then, if that's the case, then, and I will attack with Talon. Wait, hold on. Let me green flame it.
Nice. You
So,
do
yeah,
an additional
so-
8 points of damage with the green flame if your damage roll hits. So please roll your attack. And by the way, he is on the ground. It's not reflecting it on the UI. I don't know why, but he's at 0 ground. He's on the ground.
Yeah, that was the only reason why I was confused. So.
All right. Your first attack misses. Try your second attack.
Mothers.
Oh no!
I missed.
Ooh! Not only did you miss,
That's
you
worse than missing.
you critically fumbled. Clean
Well,
miss. No additional penalty, fortunately. But a less than stellar performance. Elrin.
How did you miss a dragon, you asshole? Oh my god.
Well, it is moving its wings back and forth, and it is still dancing about. It is a young adult. It's not like the size of a house. It is very large. It is much larger than you guys are, easily. It takes up easily 10 feet. 10 feet, and then its wingspan is easily 15, 16 feet across. But it still can move out of the way and like bludgeon you and pop things out of the way and counter with its talons. So Elrin, your attack, my dear, what would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna use protection against poison on Ravina this round.
All right.
I'm just gonna slowly make my way around all of you.
Thank you, Claire.
All right. Up and running. The duration on that, it's good for an hour. So, yeah, here's hoping this battle doesn't go that long. I don't think this would be in your best interest to let it go that long. Ruger.
Oh, wait. Is there any way I can move for cover, like, across to here or something? Or is that an opportunity roll?
You could move over there. What the edge of this is not very high. This is only a couple feet high. The edge of this thing.
Can I crouch? Can I just say I'm crouching?
If you'd like, I think if you're looking for cover, I think you probably have a little bit more cover from the anvil, but with poisonous gas, it's kind of irrelevant.
All right, never mind. Then I'll stay in the action.
All right. Ruger.
Actually, no. I'm moving aside because there's nobody here.
Okay.
And I'm less likely to get hit.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Ruger, your move.
Everybody spread out.
I'm going to attack with the Dragon Slayer Longsword and Divine Smite on top of the Branding Smite.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
He said,
Do I need to
I
move
bring my
closer?
rack down.
I'm bringing the boomstick. Go ahead and target the dragon.
Do I need to move closer to attack it?
No, you are on it. All right, give us the Dragon Slayer attack first. Make sure that when you do your attack, you add. You cast a holy weapon on this, yes?
Yeah, Sacred Weapon.
So how much? How +4? So make sure on your attack roll, when it gives you the calculation, make sure in that situational bonus put +4. Okay?
Right.
Does he have advantage or something? Or flanking or something? Or...
Because
like there's multiple people around this dragon.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good point. I was just thinking that. We're going to give you advantage on this attack. Because you are flanking the dragon. For whatever reason, he didn't think you were the biggest threat. That may change.
Well, they're allowed to make mistakes.
Fortunately, the 1 that you rolled is offset by the 18 that you rolled, which upscales to a 30 with the weapon you were using against a dragon. Yikes. Yeah, you think? Now here was the thing. What would you all say if I said, yeah, that doesn't hit?
Oh no!
Everyone in the water, and hope there's an underwater tunnel out of this place. All right, so give me.
Water breathing. Yeah, that's what we need.
go ahead and give me the first well, first of all, let's get the damage for the sword itself. Let's roll that. And this is the 3d6 on top of the damage. Make sure you roll the 3d6 formula when you're done. All right?
So I roll damage, then I do 3d6?
Correct. It might come up if you hit the versatile, actually. Hit the versatile damage option. I think I programmed this in.
Okay, I'm not seeing it. Should I add to the situational bonus?
No, just go ahead and roll the normal damage. I'll look at it. I see you're not seeing that option. That's kind of sucks. All right. So you got 14 for the normal damage.
Is that with his charisma modifier or whatever?
Yeah, but for whatever reason, when he rolls damage, he rolls it against him. He rolls it against himself for some reason every time this happens. I don't know what happens to him, but anyhow, give me 3d6. Just click the D6 button 3 times.
Ooh.
There you go. All right, you get another 5 for the dragon slaying damage. That hurt. This thing is not happy about that shot. That shot stung. But now we've got your divine smite. Please roll your divine smite first, and then we'll do your blazing smite. Divine.
Yeah, I don't smoke that stuff, but.
Are there any bonus? There's no bonuses on divine smite, right?
Only against fiends and fae or undead. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah. All right. So you just took another 8 off for the divine smite, and now we need the branding smite. Now there's another effect. Wow, another 9. Well done. Well.
How much is that
done.
total?
A ton. That's 17, 27, 31 points of damage. 35 points of damage that he just did with that one shot.
36,
now,
right?
Yes, 36. Sorry, correct. 36 points of damage that you just did. Now, here's the thing I need to ask. Branding Smite has a lasting, lingering effect, correct?
Yeah, he lights up.
Yes. So he is now actually glowing with holy celestial energy. So if he were to try to go invisible, not gonna work. So with that shot, the dragon is really, really ticked off. So, because he just got smacked hard from behind, he is going to turn at the thing that is now hurting him. But, hold that thought, boys and girls, as he targets Druger, and he first tries to hit you with his tail.
Is that his turn? I thought we were still doing initiative.
Oh!
It's called
Sorry.
his turn, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry. I had accidentally clicked on him, and I thought it was his turn. Sorry, it's not him yet. Hold that thought. I'm getting excited. All right, but Ruger, don't you have another attack? You have 2 attacks.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh, but
do
you
my
used.
attack.
But you also. But wait a minute. You used.
No, I cast that last turn. Oh, the Divine Smite. Does that count as...
Yeah,
No, the Divine Smite is free.
Right. If I was thinking if you had cast Booming Blade, that would have been additional on top of it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. So you actually do have another attack. So go ahead. Let him have it. Again, remember you're attacking with advantage because he is got his back to his scaly green slimy back. Don't keep me in suspense, Ruger.
Sorry, I have to...
Oh! Wow. Wow. Okay. That is, that's impressive. That is a 31. That hits. That hits.
You could choose to smite again.
Right.
If you just wanted to be really over the top.
I don't think there's over a top when it comes to dragon.
All right, so the blade itself does 13 points of damage just with the blade. Now the anti-dragon effect hits for another 4. So that is now taking him down by... Oh my gosh, that's taking him down 17. And now you... And that's the... You're hitting...
Divine Smite.
That's Divine Smite. Oh my god. This is just rude. Alright, so you took another 14 points off of him, which takes him down to this. Okay, what was the last thing you just rolled, which was the 7?
Divine Smite.
Divine Smite. Okay, why not? Right? Okay.
Well, it's
2D. No,
hurt yet.
Divine Smite is 2d8. I think that's what it was before that.
Yeah, he already rolled it for that.
Yeah, he did. He rolled 2d6, but he meant to do 2d8, so...
No, he rolled a 2d8 after it was the 10.
Oh, I see that. Yes. He rolled 2d8 and he got a 10. That came off. And
one
then
of them is branding and one of them is divine, so...
Okay.
But it's
Doesn't matter
branding
what order.
only triggers once.
Yeah, you can't do branding twice, my friend. You only do branding once.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, come on. Come on. You've just hit him for like...
27 points of damage on top of the first
With
36.
63 damage total over the whole turn.
That would have killed you and then some.
No, I'm just embarrassed. Sorry about that,
No.
Perfectly fine.
Totally okay.
everybody.
Overachiever in the room.
Delete the last 2d6.
It's okay. I put him back in. It's all good. Yes, because if you solo the dragon with one shot, it's going to be... The rest of the party's going to be like, well, why are we here? All right, Cauldron. You've just...
The poison I'm about to get.
You just saw the dragon's eyes bug out of his head as you see these... You see this brutal strike of bluish silver celestial energy followed by this holy fire dropping through the ceiling like, how's it getting in here? And it slams into this dragon. On top of you hear the cracking of this blade smacking through its scales, leaving you now with your opportunity to attack as well.
So how much behind him counts as flanking?
That'd be a good question. I'd say if you could get here, or here, here,
Okay.
or here, or if you I mean, you standing on top of Ruger would be a bad idea, especially with all that celestial energy floating around. It's not exactly your cup of postum.
See what I can do with this.
All right, attacking with advantage.
Alrighty. First, I will use my dagger.
Dagger +1. Sadly, you miss.
Alrighty, and then try again with the rapier.
I was like, I'm hearing it coming. I'm hearing it coming. Here we
Is
go.
that with advantage?
And you managed to hit with the rapier.
Great.
All right. So give us your damage and sneak attack.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
21 points of damage. It begins. It begins to howl. Oops, sorry, that's not you. Sorry, I was bloodying the wrong person. So there we go. We start noticing that all over the green skin there is now large areas of blood starting to seep through multiple wounds from the vicious attacks that are landing all over this poor hapless creature being caused by our intrepid band of dragon hunters. Cauldron, very well done. That's the end of your turn, yes? Unless
Yep, that is.
Okay, yep. Druger has got what you can only explain as being a psychotic grin on his face as he targets the dragon and comes in with Hugh. And attacks. There we go. And he hits. And let's see, do I need to use any... Oh, he uses menacing attack. Oh, no, that's not what I want. That would be so cool.
I want to shoot, baby.
Okay. He's not going to use menacing attack, but...
Maybe next time.
Yes, maybe next time, but he does have another attack. His second attack comes in.
Oh no!
Oh no! Critical miss! Oh no! And he fumbles. He just got over the misses. Cause you to lose your footing. Next attack is at -2, so he is now down on one knee. That is going to make him a tasty attack for our friend. Gundren runs behind the altar.
Great help.
Okay, bye,
Thank you
Gundren.
so
Thank
much.
He's in a bag. Give him a break. He's wearing a leather sack. Ravina.
So I'm gonna come down to here next to Druger, and I'm gonna use Eldritch Blast, but because I'm level 5, I get 2 of them.
That is correct. And you have Agonizing Blast as well.
That's the Eldritch Blast.
That is correct. You have an additional feature that you do Agonizing Blast on top of it, which can actually cause other things to happen. So please go ahead, do your strike.
Oh shoot! Sorry, I did it twice in accident.
That's all right. Just click the last one.
Attack. Okay, normal.
Wow! Vicious strike. Wow. As he rears up and starts howling at the stab he just got underneath his wings, really close to his liver, as Cauldron drives her rapier deep into his dragon flesh, you run up next to the dwarf and smack him with this Eldritch Blast. Go ahead and give us with your damage, please. Yes, do. 1d10 of force damage.
Right. Okay, normal. No, that's not.
That's great, because you get your bonuses, because that scales up for you because you are a warlock, and you end up doing 13 points of damage. Remind me, Agonizing Blast gives her the chance of pushing him back, is that right? Or is it more damage? I can't remember now.
I think it's plus charisma mod damage.
You're right, and that's what's already factored into her calculation. Got it. Okay, that's the other +3. Got it. All right, second attack, please.
Oh yeah, I get 2.
That was just
Oh my
the
God, I
first
forgot.
one.
Yes,
Nice.
this is
Warlock, let's go.
this is why warlocks are extraordinarily bad news, and you also have an incredibly high chance of hitting. Well, you rolled an 18. Somehow you didn't target him. That hits. It's okay. I know it hits. So go ahead and give me damage, please.
Should I target him now?
It's okay. Go ahead and just roll the damage. I'll take it off of him manually.
Okay.
You do
Nice.
18 points of damage.
Wait, no,
Venom
15.
Fang is now bleeding.
No, that's 15. That's 15.
Oh, sorry, 15. Oh, okay, 15 points of damage. Well, it's only 3 points difference. Venom Fang is now howling at the top of his lungs. You see blood starting to froth at his mouth. Green foam from the poison is still sitting there in his mouth.
Angelina feels a little bad. Ravina
Rena-
not upset about this at all.
Okay.
Ravina's thinking, I can make a purse out of this.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I feel bad though. He's like.
Peter's gonna cancel the stream.
All right. All right.
You'll be hearing from PETA about this.
All right.
a dragon. They exist.
All right, so Venom Fang is going to use his multi-attack. He first targets Druger with his tail strike. He viciously whips his tail down towards you. And it misses.
Ha ha, poo poo.
But he does then turn. And let's see, can he recharge?
Do I get to hold my breath if I know it's coming?
Oh no.
No, you don't. And it's coming, because he got it back. He has managed to recharge. Mouthwash! And he breathes down. Yeah, he rolled a 5, so he gets that back. So he actually has another charge. Because we rolled a 5. Well, I had rolled a 5. He gets it back. So let me edit this. Because he had rolled a 5. There we go. Alright. We roll our attack.
This is like dog breath times 100.
Oh, yeah. And my friend, this is all just for you. Alright. He rolls the damage. And if it strikes, the damage will be 21 points of damage against you unless you resist. What is your resistance roll? Oh, you successfully... Now, wait a minute. Now, aren't you not naturally... No, you're not. It's disease you're immune to.
Disease. But
All right.
when I lay on hands, I can neutralize poison, but for some reason this doesn't linger, so that doesn't work. Is that
you're not. You can't. You can't.
It's poison in the blood. It's healing of the flesh. You can't remove the poison from the air because it's basically a contact poison. As soon as it hits the tissue, it damages it. It'd be like chlorine gas, right?
Right.
Right, but now you could heal the effects of it afterwards. That's absolutely
Agent
true.
Orange.
Precisely. So, but for you, because you did make your saving throw, it is only going to hit you for 11 points of damage, so it's only half damage.
I mean, that's still significant.
Yes. But the good news for the party, that was both of his attacks, and Kenji, you are now attacking. It did it again.
I had that coming.
I don't know why it did that. It Ruger, you were 3rd, so I'm gonna make you 17.
I was sneezed. Sorry. Sorry.
Bless you.
Elrond was right ahead of me.
Yep, she was 19. Gundren
was before.
Yeah, he was. We're gonna make him a 9.
Cauldron was right after me.
Yeah, he was a 1.
Cougar was
There we
before me.
Yeah, is this right? It is.
Ruger
I don't know
was before
why.
me.
There must be.
Druger was before Ruger.
Oh, okay, that's right. So we'll make him an 18. There we go. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm clicking that's making that happen. It's very frustrating. All right. And it opened everybody's character sheets too, which was very strange. All right, Damien, you now have the flank of the dragon facing you. You are going to get to attack with advantage.
All right. Then I will.
Target that big green bad boy.
All right, wait, hold on. I just want to make sure green flame is still active, or.
But you could just turn it back on for this round if you want to. Just make it active. All right. Go ahead and roll, and then we'll roll green flame if you make the attack. It's totally fine. Okay.
All right, cool. Then with advantage.
And you managed to hit. With your bonuses with Talon, you managed to hit. So please give me versatile slashing damage.
Slashing. How do I do that again? I'm so sorry.
You should have 3 damages facing you. That's all right. I'll do it. I'll click it right now. Versatile, because it's normally my judgment, which is why you're not seeing it.
I see it up there. I see it on the top of the thing. I was looking at my spell book.
No sweat. You managed to hit him for another 10 points of damage. So as he turns, you bring your sword down with both hands on his tail, and as you spin, you go into your second attack. But there's green flame coming out of your blade now, striking him. So please roll a 1d8 for the blade, the flame damage.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sucks.
That's all right. Pity there's not another target around. You can make it bounce onto that target, but unfortunately it's not. But do roll your second attack, sir. As you spin around after the first one, using your momentum, you bring your blade down again on its tail. Give me the attack.
Do I do another advantage attack or?
Yes, rolling with attacking with advantage. Natural 20.
that's what I'm
Beautiful.
talking about. That's what
Critical
I'm talking
strike.
about.
You feel the blade go between two of its vertebrae and go down halfway through the tail. Please give me your critical damage roll.
Critical hit.
Yes. Oh,
Heyo.
19 points of damage. The dragon is now starting to look extremely worse for wear, and it's also starting to look a little concerned.
Is Sildar participating in this, or is he just
Sildar,
bystander?
well, you also have to remember, Sildar, not the toughest. He's an old man, and he also was running on only a few hit points, and you had him guarding, no one and he never got into the combat. But let's get him
That's
in.
fine.
Let's get him in.
No.
Okay, all right, because that was the GM basically saying I forgot to add him into the combat.
Yes, we
No
figured.
All right, Elrin, your turn.
All right. Like I said, I'm making my rounds. See you next.
Making my rounds in the dungeon, walking around, slaying some dragons. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Dun. All right, here we go. Protection from poison, and here we go. And that should tide you over at least a little bit for the next hit. Everybody else, aside from Cauldron, everybody else has resistance to poison. Cauldron, you're next, I promise.
Yeah, you would have to run through the dragon to get to her.
I could find.
Now, you could always try casting a spell from there. He's not very far away.
From here? Oh, I
Yeah.
can?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I think I have found an issue. I gotta touch him. I gotta touch Ruger. It worked earlier because
You got
Rowena
the
had-
touch!
Oh no! Can I actually get that spell back?
It's okay. We'll it's fine. I should have made you touch him. That's true, but it's okay. We'll count for now. All right.
Okay. Oh,
You're protected from poison. You can get over there, can't you?
I mean, I can't. If I like go. Oh no.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you wanted to attack the dragon, you could from where you are,
Yeah.
or because I don't. Other than Damien, who's immune, you can't really reach anybody. Druger is resistant. If you cast it on him, even if he gets poisoned, the damage would be negligible. The best he could hope for is a quarter of the damage.
No, I was talking about Ruger.
Oh,
Because Ruger doesn't have any sort of poison protection.
well, yeah, we gave it to him, but we won't give it to him next round because it was kind of a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. We'll take it. We'll take it away from him now, and we'll enforce it if you can get over there next time.
All right,
We'll
then
call
I'm
that a
just
free.
gonna
We'll
do-
call that a freebie.
Thanks.
Yeah, we should have
I'm
thought
gonna
of that.
do inflict wounds.
And I'm going to give you a spell point back because we should not have charged you for that one. So you're getting a spell back. So you will still have... You have to touch for inflict wounds, by the way.
I do?
Yes.
Oh my god. Why am I doing all these ranged spell attacks? Sorry. We're just gonna go.
Now, if you want to run up to him and touch him, you can do that. You would make it.
No, absolutely not. We're down to one healer, so I really don't want to be too dumb about this.
But you're
All right.
protected from poison, so
Barely. I mean, okay. Well, yeah. Sure. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. Can I run up to him? Hold on, let me.
Either that or a mass heal spell. That's what I'd recommend.
Oh, that's smart. That's. Well, how bad is everybody? Everybody's kind of okay for now.
Yeah, I can wait a turn.
All right.
I would say if you're gonna heal someone, I would heal Druger because he's on the floor right now.
Well, no,
it doesn't matter. He's gonna be
he's
on the floor
prone
either way.
because he slipped.
I'm just gonna. Can I get the spell slot for inflict wounds back then?
Yes, I will give that back to you.
I'm just gonna do this old thing. Bing bong. Bing bong. 8 points.
Nice. So
Not
is that Sacred Flame?
Yep.
Nice. All right. He needs to do a DC saving throw of 14 to see. Let me know what the damage would be. It's 1d. Is it 1d8 or 2d8? You're 5th level now, so it would be 2d8.
1d8.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't worry. He rolled an 18, so
Whatever.
Oh,
that spell did nothing to him.
Great.
The
Perfect.
spell hit
Amazing.
his scales, and you see this ball of holy flame bounce off of the scale in its back and go flying up into the ceiling.
Great. Love to hear it.
Hey, at least you didn't waste a spell slot on that.
That's true.
What do you expect for a free spell? Druger.
Hey, I'm playing it safe.
Druger takes his first step to stand up. He takes his next attack. He uses his second attack because his first action was standing, and now he will attack. With his single attack, he grabs Hugh and swings down with all of his might. But he is at -2 because he had fallen down. But he rolls a 26. That is also a critical hit for him. And rolled a 19 is a critical hit. So even with the -2, he rolls a 26. This is a brutal strike for a good old Iron Shield. So he goes and uses his critical hit damage and rolls a vicious 16 points of slashing damage.
Nice one, dwarf. Come on.
Venom Fang is not happy and is clearly starting to look like he wants to be anywhere but here. Ruger.
If I use Booming Blade, does that take up my extra attack?
Yeah,
Does he get his slasher feature for that? Druger.
Yeah, he did. So that means, well, yeah. Hold on a moment. I should have thought of that. Yes, he would. So he got the critical hit, but it should also reduce his speed. So the dragon.
It looks like the dragon has disadvantage on all attack rolls until the start of his next turn.
Yep. So what she's talking about, guys, is the type of special fighter that Druger is. One of his abilities is if he does slashing damage, he gets a critical hit on a 19 or a 20, which gives him extra of that, and it gets extra damage. But there's also he can increase his dex now by 1. Okay, hold on. So to your next turn, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls. That's right. So, and he's also reduced the speed by 10 feet. So that's the other difference. All right. Okay. Ruger. Your attack.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I use Booming Blade, is that my extra attack for the round?
Well, Booming Blade is part of the attack with the weapon. That's how Booming Blade works.
Right, so I guess I'm asking, do I get 2 attacks or do I get 1 attack with Booming Blade?
You get 1 attack with Booming Blade.
and no second attack.
Are you going to use a smite with it?
I could, but that would be a bonus action.
Right.
Separate, right? So.
Divine Smite is free. You just need to spend the spell slot.
Exactly.
Right, but I've got other smites I can use that are bonus actions. So
it's up to you.
Do Booming Blade, Divine Smite, and then leave off the other one so I could have 2 attacks.
No, that you can't do because that you can't also put on an extra attack with it. I'm pretty sure we walked through this on the map.
No extra attack with Booming Blade. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not when it's Booming Blade and a smite.
So with Booming Blade and Divine Smite, there's no extra attack.
Correct. Or Booming Blade and a smite. To the best of my knowledge, that's it. If he's using something other than Divine Smite.
Okay, right.
Keep me honest here, Eva.
Right. If it's
Yes,
Thunderous Smite, there's no extra attack. But if it's Divine Smite, it's okay.
No, so for Booming Blade, it takes your action to cast the spell and make 1 attack.
So it takes the extra attack.
Yes.
Got it.
But you could do Booming Blade and a smite spell before that.
Yeah, 1 attack with a smite spell and the Booming Blade.
So Steve, the thing that's important is it's the order which you say it's happening.
But
right?
Is Booming Blade concentration? It might be, which might affect with
it is not.
the smite spell. It isn't? Okay.
Nope, it's
just
not.
Like a cantrip.
It's
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's essentially imbued in the physical attack. It's kind of a weird one, and this is why it gets confusing for me to remember. But Steve, what's important is the order in which you explain that it's happening, because if you get the order wrong, then technically you're doing two things which can't go together. But the way that you're saying it, you're casting the smite, and then you're casting Booming Blade as you make the attack. That's okay. But if you do it in the other order, it isn't. Don't ask me why. It's more than we want to get into right now. So just go ahead and make your Booming Blade attack, and then the smite. And the smite only goes if you make if the attack hits, by the way.
Right, but I don't roll the attack roll now for the Booming Blade. I just roll the attack roll with the sword.
Correct. All right. Remember to add your +4. All right, here we go. Give me the Dragon Slayer longsword with the +4. All right, and it hits. So let's do the attack for the sword first. Let's get that damage. Hey, so let's start tracking this. So that's 11 points. Okay, now give me the 3d6 for the anti-dragon attack. It's like let's get this attack out of the way first. Okay, so that's another 7. So now we're at 18. All right, now do the divine. This is so sick. Give me the divine smite on top of this. All right, that's 13. You're at 30 points of damage you've just done. Now give me the booming blade, which is a 1d8. Or no. Is it 2d8 or what?
It moves. I think it's
no. But you get it. No. You're at 5th level now. At 5th level, you get damage just by doing the attack, which is an extra 1d8. Just setting the booming blade does already now 1d8 of damage, because now you're at level 5. So go. Wow, what does it keep doing that? So go ahead and give me one more d8. $35 points of damage for the entire attack. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, a blood-curdling shriek, green foam spilling out of its now burst open chest, Venom Fang is no more.
Hey, this Dragon Slayer sword really works.
Dang.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and with that magnificent battle underway, we bring our session today to a close. Congratulations, you are now in the Forge of Secrets. You surrounded and strategically decimated the once mighty Venom Fang that now lies on the ground, a pummeled, sizzling, gurgling heap.
That was really successful. I am surprised.
Thank you, Asamir.
That was great. That was a good battle.
Smart
Yeah.
play, guys. Seriously, very smart play. Nice strategic layout, taking advantage of your strengths and exploiting your enemy's weaknesses. Very, very well done. Very, very fun to watch that play out. I am now going to go ahead and end the stream here in just a moment, but I do want to thank you guys for coming in. I want to thank Phil. I don't know if Phil's still here. I don't think he is, but if he is, I'm first of all, I'm just appreciative that he came in the first place. If he's still here, that's just my love for him is even more exponential. But thank you for everyone coming in. This was so much fun today. I really enjoyed today's session. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. So join us here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, and we'll see you next week. I will leave the game up for folks who want to go and put in their notes. But other than that, folks, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great
Thanks,
game.
everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Good
coming
game.
to
Good game.
old time, I guess. Thanks a lot.
GG.
Bye.
Bye.